Shukadeva Goswami said, in response to the Supreme Lord's request, Akrura, the descendant of Madhu, described the whole situation, including King Kamsa's enmity towards the Yadus and his attempt to murder Vasudeva. Text 9. Akrura relayed the message he had been sent to deliver. He also described Kamsa's real intentions and how Narada had informed Kamsa that Krishna had been born as the son of Vasudeva. Lord Krishna and Lord Balaram, the vanquisher of heroic opponents, laughed when they heard Akrura's words. The lords then informed their father, Nanda Maharaj, of King Kamsa's orders. And this is the verse. Nanda Maharaj then issued orders to the cowherd man by having the village constable make the following announcement throughout Nanda's domain of Vraj. Go collect all the available milk products. Bring valuable gifts and yoke your wagons. Tomorrow we shall go to Mathura, present our milk products to the king, and see a very great festival. The residents of all the outlying districts are also going. Purport. Nanda wanted to bring ghee and milk products as taxes for the king. Omagyanat mirandasya gyananjana shalakaya chakshurun miritamena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitamena Bhutale Swayam Rupaktaram Yam Tati Swapadantikam Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sari Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. So before I begin, I would like to request the blessings of all the assembled Vaishnavas, especially senior most devotees like Adipurush Prabhu and Arjuna Prabhu, that I may say something which is in line with our Guru Parampara, which is enlivening and purifying to our hearts, and that our hearts themselves become fertile ground for this divine message to take root on.
Let's also, Murli Gopal Prabhu, we have an announcement. Let's pray for, let's send our blessings to Damodar Priya. She's not in class, and I'm assuming she's not feeling well, so let's pray for Damodar Priya. She's one of the presiding deities of this class. She's always damage controlling us, always offers nice and compassionate perspective on things that we're discussing here. By Krishna's grace, she's really one of the what do you call it, bedrocks of this Sangha. So Damodar Priya, we love you. We love Paul. We love Prema and Priya. Susan, do you know any details?
Well, we can just do three Hare Krishnas for Damodar Priya.
Yes, let's do it.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. That whatever is going on, that has prevented her from coming, that she may be well, she may be happy, and that Krishna is always in her mind. Jai.
Thank you.
So we're hearing today about Akrura. Akrura has finally come, right? We've heard, from the previous chapters, his whole meditation on, I'm going to see Krishna, like that. Now he finally saw Krishna. He paid his obeisances and all, and now he's relaying the message. Not a very nice message, though. It's so hard when you have to break bad news to people, and and everybody's like already like, oh, okay, there's Akrura. Why are you here? And then it's like, oh yeah, I'm going to take Krishna and Balaram, and besides that, King Kamsa, has wants me to take him because he wants to murder him. Yeah, and also Vasudev, Krishna's father. Oh, which by the way, yeah, he's the real father of Krishna, not Nanda Maharaj. I mean, like, oh my God, like, that's not easy. That's not easy to break to all of the residents of Vrindavan. And still he does it. So this is important because he's showing the attitude right here of truthfulness. He could have just like lied about a whole bunch of things and only said like a couple of important details like that. But no, he chose like I'm going to be straightforward. And actually, he was planning that from the very beginning. As he was traveling, he was thinking like Krishna's in the heart. He knows. I'm going in this terrible mission, which why am I not going? In order to present gifts and just like make. Probably he did bring great gifts, but just to bring good news or something like that. Why am I having to like that? But Krishna knows my mind. Krishna knows my intention. He knows that even though I'm being brought by this Kamsa fellow, I'm still going to like my intention to see him as pure, and I want to serve him and all that. So with that in mind, he said, he's being completely transparent, like Krishna, like this is really why I'm here. This is what Kamsa really wants. He's not going in turnabouts like that. He's just saying it as it is. And this quality of truthfulness is actually something very important that he is showing us here. That is important when we come towards the Lord. We have to be non-duplicitous. We have to be simple. We have to be ourselves towards the Lord, because that's a quality that is very much needed in this to be a sadhu in general. According to the Bhagavad Gita 7:15, we hear Anudvegakaram bhakyam satyam priya hitam chayat svadhyaya vyasanam chaiva yanmayam tapa uchyate. It says that austerity of speech consists in speaking words that are truthful, very first one, satyam, priya, they're dear, that are pleasing, that are hitam, they're beneficial, and also that they are anudvegakaram, that are not agitating to others, right? And in regularly reciting Vedic literature, which is something that we have to be constantly doing, just kirtanam in different ways. So the austerity of speech, this is an austerity of speech to say truthfulness. There's a study by the University of Birmingham, I believe, and they saw that basically Americans they lie on an average 11 times per week. Yeah, 11 times per week. From 0 to 2 times per day. In general, and it's like, okay, wow, that those Americans, right? not this American, those Americans there, right? Not really. Like if we really start looking at ourselves, we tend to sometimes lie to ourselves. We tend to sometimes lie to other people, and we don't even know why sometimes. It's just a habit. I remember there was this bus that was going to take us to Ratha Yatra, and we all got into the bus, and it was really nice. And I had brought some I think it was some blackberries to just give out to all the devotees. So yeah, okay, I gave it to the devotee who was coordinating the bus, and he said like, yeah, this is for all the devotees. And she said, oh, thank you very much. So she went around, just like offering like that. And there was a Mataji there that she was asking like, oh, are those blackberries washed? Have they been washed? And the one who was passing them out, she looked at me and she said like, yeah, they're washed, of course, right? And then I just said, yeah, sure. But guess what? They were not washed. And then, and as soon as I said, in my mind, I was thinking like, why did I say that? What, it was such a dumb thing. There was no need. I could have just said like, no, I'm sorry. Let's take some water, and the bus hadn't even started yet, so they could have, I could have taken it and with some bottled water, I could have washed it myself and like that, but no, like my reaction immediately was to lie, and I felt so bad with that, and I was going like, there was no need to lie. Why did I lie? And to this day, I'm perplexed. And it's just a habit of ours to just lie for no reason at all. On some little things. And what to speak if something is like really big and we need to cover ourselves, then this really becomes like an issue. And guess what? If we're relying on little things, it means that when the big things come, it's going to be even harder because we're doing it almost unconsciously. So now we want to say these lies. Now that it really matters, I have to do it. I have to lie like that. So this lying propensity is there in all of us. That's one of the 4 defects of human beings, right? One is that we have imperfect senses, and because of that we make mistakes. And then when we make mistakes, what do? We have to try. We try to cheat. How do we cheat? By saying lies. By saying these lies. So we don't, this cheating propensity, this lying propensity is there in all of us. It just has to come into the right perspective, and then it will go there. But we see in Lord Chaitanya how he absolutely dislikes this idea of lying, of not being truthful. And we see it for example, some weeks ago, Achita Gopi, she was telling us about the story of Junior Haridas, right? Chota Haridas. He was a renunciate. He was a person who was in the renounced order of life, and he was amongst Lord Chaitanya when he was in Puri. And Lord Chaitanya once, he saw him. He was looking towards a woman in a lustful desire, and Lord Chaitanya banished him. He said like I don't want to see him. I don't want to see him at all, because he is present himself as a renunciate, and yet his mind is duplicitous. He wants to enjoy with a woman. That is not correct, and he banished him. And it said that Chotaharida, he became like so despondent, so remorseful of this, that he committed suicide. And then they told Lord Chaitanya, Chotaharida committed suicide. And he said, "Oh, that's good." And that, to me, was just like, oh my God, well, that's super harsh from the Lord. Here's Lord Chaitanya. Here's the Supreme Personality of Godhead, right? That he is Patita Pavana. He's the deliverer of the most fallen. He is he delivered Jagai and Madai, who did more than just look at lustfully at a woman, right? They actually went all the way to like raping and burning down people's houses and stealing, and they did horrible things. And he forgave them, and he made them Vaishnavas like that. And here's a devotee, somebody who's already in his midst like that, and he makes one mistake that any one of us could have made. Something that wasn't even like super obvious, and yet he condemns him like that. How is that possible? So for a long time I was just like perplexed by this. And then Achita Gopi gave us the answer a couple of weeks ago here at the Bhakti Center, and she was saying that she was also troubled by this until she found out why it was, and the reason for that was because Chataharidas never admitted to that. He never admitted to having done something wrong. He just took all of this, but he never did that. So this is different from Mukunda. Mukunda, he was also an associate of Lord Chaitanya, and yes, there's no need to commit suicide. That's very important. We don't need to have any sins like that. In fact, Lord Chaitanya said, like, if I could attain Krishna just by committing suicide under the cart of the Ratha Yatra cart, I would have killed myself thousands and thousands of times. So don't think that just because you commit suicide you wash any sins away. That's it's still there. So you have to come back and do something about it and next time. So just do it this lifetime. Don't do it. And he actually became a ghost. So yeah, you don't want to become a ghost. That makes it even harder to atone for sins. Anyway, Mukunda, he had the same problem, right? We hear about Mukunda. He was in Lord Chaitanya's midst. This was back in Navadvip before Lord Chaitanya took sannyas, and he was there amongst everybody. Lord Chaitanya suddenly sat in the throne of Vishnu, and he told everyone, ask for a benediction. And he was giving everyone like a darshan of the form of the Lord that they loved the most, and everybody was in ecstasy, and he was giving benedictions. But there was one person that was like not called at all, and all the devotees noticed that, and they said to Lord Chaitanya, my dear Lord, you haven't called on Mukunda. And he said, that rascal, I don't want to see him ever again. Get him out of here. He talks to us like a Vaishnava, but he also associates with the Mayavadis. I don't want to see that duplicitous person again, ever again. Just get him out of my sight. And so what did Mukunda do? He took it in with remorsefully, and he didn't commit suicide. What did he do? He left thinking like, yeah, Lord Chaitanya is right. I'm sorry. Like this is terrible. And then Lord Chaitanya said, like, I don't want to see him in 10,000 lifetimes. I think it was 10,000 or 100,000 lifetimes. And he was like in his heart, he's like, wow. He said I could see him, like after 100,000 lifetimes. That's amazing. He wants to see me again. Only 100,000 lifetimes, and I get to see him again. Yay! Yay! I get to see him again if there. And he was so happy. If we hear 100,000 lifetimes, like, you know, you know, that's eternity for us. But he was so grateful for that opportunity, and he was completely transparent. Like he accepted what he did, and allowed himself to, like, let me take on whatever the Lord wants. I'll take it in, because I know I did wrong, like that. And Lord Chaitanya actually called him back. So like, okay, tell him to come back. And he was like so infatuated with, yeah, only 100,000 lifetimes, only 100, that hey, no, like, actually now 100,000 left, no, come now. And so he finally, they finally brought him back, and he was reinstated. So Lord Chaitanya, he wants us to be that. He wants to just be transparent, who we are. And with Chataharidas, he was not. And so therefore Lord Chaitanya did not give him mercy, because he saw that in his heart he was not ready to admit to his fault. And so we have to be completely transparent. We have to be truthful in our dealings, and not only with the Lord, but with everyone else. And that may not be easy, because as we're seeing with Akrura, it wasn't only just telling the Lord, like, oh, this is what's going to happen, and oh, okay, fine, well, the Lord knew it anyway, so that's okay. But now everybody in Vrindavan hates him. He's taking first of all, he's taking Krishna away from them, which is already like oh. And second of all, he's taking him to fight with Kamsa. And remember that the inhabitants of Vrindavan are not saying like, oh yeah, well, Krishna is the supreme personality of God. He can kill him just like that. No, they're going like, oh my God, he's going to get hurt. And so they were calling him like, this is not Akrura. This is Krura. He is he is not he is actually cruel. He's actually a cruel person, and to the point where Mother Yashoda, when she heard that, she actually hid Krishna. She took him and she hid him, according to Gopal Champu. In there it says that she took him away, and Nanda Maharaj had to go, and first of all, Akrura had to ask Nanda Maharaj, like, please, he has to come. Vasudev, he is his real father, and he hasn't seen him for a long time, and he's in prison, and they're suffering. If he doesn't come, he's going to be he's going to be murdered, and like that. So Nanda Maharaj had to come and tell Mother Yashoda, please allow him to come. I promise you that I will bring him back. Just bring him back. Just let him come. I will go with him, and I promise, it's on my word, that he will come back. I will make sure that he comes back. And then she said to him, I hold you personally responsible for this, to bring him back. Oh my God. So Akrura was, creating like this intense atmosphere along Vrindavan and everything. And Krishna, even he had to say, like, yeah, like, I will come back and everything. So we see that also telling the truth is not always easy. it's not always easy, and it's not always just like oh yeah, I'll just say the truth and that's it. Because we hear about the story of the sage in the Mahabharata, who made the vow that I will always tell the truth. And there was a moment in which he saw these people. They were running away. They hid in some bushes. Another a group of dacoits was running behind them, and the group of dacoits said like, "Hey, you're a sage. You always tell the truth. Do you know where these people went?" "Yes." Where are they?" "They're right over there." And so these gang of thieves, they went and killed all of them. And so this sage actually went to hell for telling the truth. So it's not just a simple thing of, yeah, I will always tell the truth. And sometimes even Krishna himself tells, that you have to lie. Krishna himself, when Maharaj Yudhishthira was in the battlefield, Krishna told Maharaj Yudhishthira, who was known as Dharmaraj, he is the Lord. He is the Lord of Dharma, of religiosity. He always told the truth. He told him, lie about Ashvatthama. Say that Ashvatthama, is dead. And he was so conflicted. He was so conflicted because of that. But Krishna told him, like, lie about it. So as we saw in this Bhagavad Gita verse, austerity of speech consists not only of truthfulness, but also it should be pleasing, it should be beneficial, should be not agitating to others, and it should be in line with the Vedic literature. So sometimes we have to compromise the truthfulness. Sometimes it's not easy, but we have to compromise, and it takes a lot of intelligence and to be able to discriminate when I have to tell a lie and when not to. It's not always black and white, and sometimes we may have to go like, okay, I have to tell a lie here, but it's for it's for a good reason, and not just like, oh yeah, it's for a good reason. Yeah, it's always for a good reason, right? We have to know when to do it. But this truthfulness is actually the last standing leg of religion, of dharma, of religiosity in this age of Kali. In fact, of all the things that a person is, they could be horrible like that, but if he is at least honest, people will go like, okay, well, at least he's an honest thief, he's an honest like that. So people are willing to forgo so many qualities of a person if that person has at least that quality of being truthful. But if a person is a liar, that's people can't handle it, right? So that's the last standing leg. If you lied to me, if you cheated me, if you like that's something that people can't handle, and it's because it's that last leg. And we should be known, the devotees. Prabhupada said that they're perfect ladies and gentlemen. People should see our character and say like, oh, there's something that's a devotee just by our character, which very much includes this truthfulness, because it's the one thing that really people are noticing, like they have their antennas like this. So that should be something that is imbibed in us very strongly. And also, as I said, towards people and towards the Lord. And if we are at least like this honest, we know that Krishna will he will understand, even if we're in a place where it's not very easy, even if we're in a place where it's like, oh my God, like how am I going, I'm going to be misunderstood. I'm going to be totally, there's so many places where devotees have been misunderstood because of, just like telling truth or like that. We see that with Maharaj Chitraketu. Maharaj Chitraketu, he just said the truth, like, oh my God, look at that. Parvati is sitting down with Lord Shiva, on his lap, in front of all these sages. Generally, like normal people won't even like do that in public. And now here's a Mahajan, and he's doing it in public in front of sages. Like he just laughed at like this is too much. And because of that, he got cursed. He got cursed to become a demon. And his situation was now terrible, because as Vitrasura, he became the demon Vitrasura. Now devotees hated him. It was not only that the demons are like horrible people to be around with, and that he has to do terrible things like fight with Indra, which is a devotee of the Lord, and try to kill him. But also, like, all of the sages, all of the demigods, all of the devotees, they were against him. Has that ever happened to you, that you're just doing your job and you get so much heat for it? It's something that happens to all of us, but he had to do it, and the only thing that he could do was do his job as it was his dharma, as a demon, to kill or try to kill the king of heaven, and just pray to the Lord. And his prayers are some of the most beautiful prayers of the Bhagavatam, to the point where Indra, he heard those prayers and he was shocked. He was going like, this is actually a devotee. He actually has more devotion than me, and now I have to kill him. Again, being truthful, having to do your duty. Sometimes it's not easy. It's not easy, but we just have to pray to the Lord sincerely, ask him to please always keep us in the path, to show us exactly like when we have to act in one way, when we have to act in another way, to be puppets, as Prabhupada would say it. Prabhupada, when he was coming in the Jaladuta, he said, make me dance as you like. I want to be your puppet. Krishna, personally, I have zero intelligence, but you give me the words. You give me the words by which I can transform them. So only by taking shelter of Krishna can we cross this ocean of nations and faults and difficulties. It's so bewildering. How do we do it? That's how we do it. We take shelter of Krishna to our hearts, squeezing every single bit of sincerity that we have in them, and asking Krishna, please help me in this situation. I don't know how to do it. If it's up to me, I'll just make something like horrible and from all of this. So please, you tell me how best I can do this. And I see that we have a hand raised. Yes.
Hare Krishna, really Gopal Prabhu. Good to hear your voice.
Jai, Madaram Prabhu, Haribol.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for giving class. I was reflecting on your note about truthfulness, and it reminded me that in one sense Krishna is, not one sense, he's directly the absolute truth, he's the highest truth, and that in the Gita says, give up all varieties of dharma and surrender unto me, thus implying that taking shelter of him and pleasing him is the highest dharma. And so in that example you cited with Maharaj Yudhisthira, he's Dharmaraj, and he was attached to his occupations of king and morality, and it was a challenge for him to execute the higher principle of satisfying Krishna. And so it seems similar to us that it may seem externally that we have to compromise truth in some way, but it's actually the highest truth if we're seeing what can I say that will be most pleasing to Krishna. Because Krishna is the absolute truth. And so that fits in line with what is pleasing, what is in line with the Vedic Shastras, which are saying to surrender to Krishna. So I just felt inspired to share that point of sharing.
Yeah, definitely. That's why we have to pray to him, to like, please give me that intelligence to know what is actually pleasing to you. Yeah, so that we don't start going like, oh yeah, sure, that should be pleasing to him. And we also, we have our God brothers, God sisters, we have our seniors and mentors, and our spiritual master. Like we have to ask them. Prabhupada has given us a society so that we can take shelter of Krishna through that society, so that we can actually ask, hey, look at this, I'm in this problem, what should I do here? Is this actually pleasing to Krishna, or is it not? We're not working in the vacuum. We have our mentors, we have our gurus, we have all of these, and because of that, then we have direct feedback. It's something very personal, and they could tell us like, yeah, no, you shouldn't do that. But I thought, yeah, you thought, but you didn't think about this other thing. Oh yeah, that's right. So when we do that, we're making it very personal. This society that Prabhupada gave us is meant to do that. Is to give us a sangha of devotees. Yeah. Let me see. Pink Yogi says, for me, honesty, truthfulness is a very important aspect of life. I don't like lying at all. It's not a good feeling to me. I also don't like being lied to or being like, yeah, the feeling of being lied to is horrible. However, to spare someone's feelings, I will bend the truth, even if it feels horrible. Yeah, so that's why the austerity of speech includes it has to be pleasing. It has to be beneficial to others. If what I'm going to say, sometimes we may say like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna lay down the truth of this person. I'm gonna tell you the absolute truth, and not care very much about that person's situation. Is that person going to receive this message in a favorable way? When I say this, even if I'm quoting scriptures, is this person going to appreciate those scriptures when I say it? That's something that should be very much there. How can I say this? It's not just like, let me preach. Preaching includes knowing how to convey the message in a way that the person will appreciate and accept that those teachings into their heart. That is part of preaching, not just I'm going to repeat like a parrot whatever I have heard. It's like also I'm going to take into account time, place, and circumstance, and mold what I'm saying in a way that I won't compromise the teachings, but I will say it in a way that this person will be able to accept it. So yeah, that's very important. And sometimes it may be like not saying a whole truth about something. It may be like, yeah, like we left out something, or we may say it in a different way, so that this person, will agree to it. In general, lying, yeah, is pointless. Yes. Any other questions, comments, or good jokes? They can be okay jokes. Okay. Also. Yes, Hare Krishna.
Wonderful class. Thank you very much. You've clarified this, and others have spoken about it, how the real criteria about what's the right thing to do is what does Krishna want us to do. And all through Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna breaks so many rules. He killed his preceptor. He fought against his relatives. Yudhisthira was asked to lie. He struck below the belt. He attacked someone who was off his chariot. He did a lot of things like that, but only under the direction of Krishna. We have to be very careful. It's not just a matter of, I'm going to figure it out, but, Lord, what do you want? And then we can go ahead and do it, because then Krishna says, I will deliver you from all sinful reactions, do not fear. So our criteria, even the gopis were willing to go to hell. They made the external offense of letting the dust of their feet go on Krishna's head, but they knew that's what will please Krishna. I'll do it. I don't care what the reaction is. So it's a very interesting thing. And one detail about the Chota Haridas story, first of all, that he did not admit, he did not confess that this is what I've done. That was one thing. The other thing is that when he was chastised, he took it very seriously, destroyed his own body, and then it said he became a ghost, but in his subtle body, the story goes, he came to Lord Chaitanya and was singing to the Lord, and the Lord was pleased with him. So Krishna did not reject him, but out of love, there was some chastisement, and there was some distancing from Krishna's, Lord Chaitanya's association. But then there was access, so that Krishna, it goes on. It's not over. No matter what we've done, Bhajate Mam Anangya Bhak, Sudarada, Abhijay Sudaracho. It says that even a person who commits the most abominable activities, if they go on in devotional service, they can consider to be saintly. Certainly they will soon become righteous, that Krishna will rectify. Okay, Radha and Murli are appearing so mercifully. We can use it. Thank you so much for bringing it every day. Good morning, Arjun. Good morning, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. This was the class. Thank you very much, Murli Gopal Prabhu. Wonderful class, wonderful subject. Everybody is relating to the subject. Bhima Prabhu, you had your hand raised. Was it a question or a joke? Has to be a joke, Bhima Prabhu. Where are you during the darshan, Bhima Prabhu? I want to know. Why is your camera off? What are you doing? Oh, there he is. Unmute yourself. I got licked by a horse. Nice. Wonderful way to start your day.
Yeah. So, Haribo, everyone, all prayers to Damodar Priya. Did we find out what's going on in that situation?
No, we don't know
How well she's.
but
Okay.
Let's pray very sincerely and intensively for her. I was praying for Damodar Priya. I was praying to Krishna, asking Krishna to protect Damodar Priya's bhakti and her remembrance of Krishna. I know when you're not feeling well, sometimes it's hard to focus on Krishna.
Actually,
go ahead.
For a lot of us, it's easier to remember Krishna when times are bad. In fact, if you did a survey, the most intensive times, that's why Queen Kunti prays for calamities to happen again and again. That's when we remember Krishna. It's when things are good and when we're healthy and we think that life is forever. You know, that's when we forget it. That's when we forget. Hare Krishna.
Bhima Prabhu.
You know, when we get scones every day, we think we're Indra.
Oh, okay. When just one thing before I open it for Adipusha Prabhu. Srila Prabhupada, one quality that he had was that he was very considerate of his audience, and he would adjust the way he presented the Siddhanta according to time, place, and circumstance. He was aware who he was talking to, the society he was sharing bhakti in. And sometimes his disciples were fired up and were eager to call out things and say what Prabhupada say without the consideration of the time, place, and circumstance. And Srila Prabhupada would correct them, and he would say, I'm an old man, I can say certain things to certain people that you can't do. So Srila Prabhupada was not inconsiderate. He was very, very aware. He was considerate of who he was talking to and of the impact that what he was saying was going to have on the person. So we should meditate on that when we talk, when we interact with the people, and that quality that Srila Prabhupada had. He would always encourage the devotees to apply common sense in their dealings, consideration of time, place, and circumstances, and of course, not deviate from Siddhanta, do not deviate from the truth. But that doesn't mean that we should be inconsiderate, rude, and turn people away from bhakti by our fanaticism and lack of consideration for who we're dealing with. That was my little tirade. Thank you, Murli Gopal Prabhu. Wonderful class. Thank you. And Adipusha Prabhu? Okay, we lost him. Would anyone else like to share? It's Saturday. We can go over time. Murli Gopal Prabhu, with your permission, we'll go a few seconds over time. Bhakta Krishna's will. Good to see you. The Christmas tree is up. That's very inspiring. Amrita Kishori, Didi Sundarananda Ji, Indonesia and Whiskey Prabhu. Bruce. I watched Bruce Almighty yesterday, by the way. I was thinking of Bruce Prabhu. Okay. Yogeshwari, Domi, Suzanne, Pink Yogi. Yes, Pink Yogi. We're standing
out of control.
What's that?
Out of control.
Bruce out of control. Oh, nice. I like it. Bruce, who's not in control. Krishna is in control, yes. Adipusha Prabhu, are you back? You want to do some closing remarks? No? Okay. All right. Shrimad Bhagavatam, Ki Jai. Everybody on this call, Ki Jai. We love you dearly. Murli Gopal Prabhu, wonderful class. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful Saturday. Give it to Krishna. Stick to the truth and be considerate and compassionate, like Damodar Priya. That's her quality. And that's her service. Being considerate, compassionate. We love you, Damodar Priya. Please come back. We miss you. We need you. Hare Krishna.